Hey, and welcome to day 3 of our Oahu, Hawaii vacation. Now, technically, this is our second full day in Oahu, and this morning we decided to get up nice and bright and early so we could avoid the heat while we hiked up Koko Crater. Now, I gotta say, I think I underestimated how difficult this hike was going to be. I really didn't think I was gonna die on it as much as I did. Are you ready to climb a bunch of stairs? I have a bunch of blisters all over my feet from day 1. Cam just hurts. And we're gonna go do, I don't know how many steps this is. Quite a few.
4.
4 steps. We're gonna go do 4 steps to get up to the head of Koko Head Crater. The top of Koko Head Crater. Okay, we're gonna pause here for a second. I have no idea why I couldn't wrap my head around what the name of this hike was. Like, girl, it's just Koko Crater. I kept putting the word head into there. I think it's just because I was confused because there's another hike and it's called Diamond Head. And so now I just think all the craters have the word head in them. Like, I don't know. But I mess it up and butcher it multiple times. Like, I just couldn't figure out what the name was. I just couldn't. And we're gonna hope that my blisters don't die on the way up. So our journey began to get to the top of Koko Crater. Now, the number of steps to get to the top is actually 1,048 steps. Was I ever in for a treat? And not quite like the good kind of treat, more like the dying inside sort of treat. Cammy, we're about to start the steps. Can you tell me how excited you are for this?
First one's about 18 inches tall, so you're in for a treat. You can go around the first step.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. This is the beginning of my demise. Oh, Cameron, these are all pistol squats, they're not steps. Each one is its own pistol squat. Oh no, Cameron.
Ready?
It's resolve, Ruby. So this first part wasn't all that bad, honestly. I felt like I was cruising along pretty well. But as you can clearly see, it gets a lot steeper. So it wasn't before long that it started to get pretty difficult. And at this point, my pace is already drastically slowing down. Like, look how steep this part is already. And we're maybe around the halfway mark or under halfway up now, and it gets much steeper than this. Much steeper. It was really around this point that things just started falling apart for me. I would honestly take a couple steps and then need to take another break. I think up until this point I was pretty steady, but this last quarter of the way up to the top I think took me just as long as the first half because I needed so many breaks. I think for sure part of my demise was the fact that I did not eat breakfast before this hike, and that was a bad decision, and I definitely regretted it. And although it took me forever to get to the top, I eventually made it to this lookout, which once we got here and realized it was not the actual very top, I was a little bit sad inside, honestly, because I was so tired. We sat here for a little bit and I rested before we then decided to make our way to the actual very top of Koko Crater. And although there was the option to continue with the steps or the railway, honestly, at this point, I had enough of lunging, squatting, pistol squatting on my way up. I just took the side path that was more like a hiking trail because that was a lot easier for me at this point. And thankfully, it honestly wasn't too much further from that first lookout to the very top. And just like that, we finally made it to the top. And let me tell you, all that effort to get up here was totally worth it. How was it?
He's great. You're sweaty.
Really sweaty. breaks at the very top. It was just so steep. It was like doing lunges or pistol squats all the way up. It was really pretty though, hey? So we spent around 30 to 45 minutes at the top, just kind of enjoying the views, taking a break, and having some snacks before we started the god-awful descent down Koko Crater. Now the descent, definitely way easier than the way up, I will say, which is probably pretty obvious, but I think I was surprised at how much more awful the descent was than I anticipated it to be. Like, obviously my legs were fatigued from the way up, but we did take a pretty long break at the top, but still, this descent ruined my legs. It felt like these steps went on forever and ever and ever, and each step felt worse and worse on my legs. Honestly, I just kept trucking on. In my head, I was like, one step at a time, we're almost there. And I just had to like pep talk my way through this. I just had to keep going because, I mean, I had no choice. I had to make it down these steps, but it hurt my legs, my joints, my knees. I felt like an old lady. I definitely felt aged going down these steps. I was like, I don't know if I should hurt this bad. Like, I'm not that old, but yeah, I just think I was like surprised at how much more difficult the descent was on my legs than I anticipated, for sure. How was that for you?
10 out of 10.
It was really nice, eh?
Easiest sight.
Tammy was in zone 1 and 2 most of the time, while I was in zone 4 most of the time, dying the whole entire way up. But it was really nice though, overall. I really liked the view from the top. It was really hard. I don't know if I'd do it again anytime soon. It was definitely worth doing once. Rating out of 10? Real rating out of 10? What would you say?
7.
7? Why 7?
My quads hurt.
I would say...
The hell of all.
I would rate it a 9 out of 10. No, I really liked it. I died, and it was felt awful, but like, for what kind of hike it is, it's really neat, and the views are really nice. So you get like 360. You get the 360 views from the top. Anyways, we're done now, and it was great.
Show me a blue Hawaiian.
We got a blue, an ultra blue Hawaiian monster to drink right after.
I'll show them the view.
But you're my best view. After hiking Koko Crater, we decided to continue driving along the highway further east along the shoreline. We did want to and did try to stop at the Lanai Lookout, but that parking lot is extremely small and it was completely full and backed up onto the highway, so we couldn't even get into the parking lot to wait for a spot to open up, so instead we just continued driving down the highway. Luckily, the next spot on the map that I had marked that I wanted to see, which was the Halona Blowhole Lookout, that parking lot was bigger and we're actually able to drive into that parking lot even though there were several people waiting for parking spots. And after waiting for maybe 5-10 minutes, we were luckily able to get a spot. So this lookout is a pretty small area. To view the blowhole, all you have to do is just walk down these steps and you're pretty much there. From here, you can view the blowhole, and we did spend a little bit of time here just watching the blowhole and just seeing how big the sprays were going to be for the day. I am sure on some days, perhaps the sprays are much larger than they were today. Regardless, it was a pretty cool stop, and I would recommend it to other people. Like, it doesn't really take much time out of your day just to stop off of the highway to view this if you're driving by. Also, in some of the clips, you can see that there are people down there. I think those people are crazy. Like, they're living life on the edge. One of those, like, sprays could be huge and, like, sweep you out to the ocean. Like, that's terrifying. Also, there's definitely signs everywhere saying you're not supposed to go down there, yet people still go down there. Shocker, hey? Also, at this lookout, there's this beach access, which really isn't a beach access because once again, there's signs saying you're not supposed to go down there. Although, like, you can see there's quite a few people down there. It does look like a nice little beach though. We didn't go down there because we didn't plan to like spend any time at the beach, but it was really cool to see from above. Once we got our fill of views at the Halona Blowhole Lookout, we continued our road trip, and our next stop was at the Makapu'u Lighthouse. Cami, what I want to know is how excited you are for a second hike of the day after Koko.
4.
4 out of 5. He's very excited. This is breaking news. Hazardous cliff, falling rocks. Oh goodness.
Where are we? Working?
Oh my God, how long is this?
1.2 miles.
Oh, that's not that bad. You're beautiful.
There we are working. Pretty cool.
So cool. Let's do it. The hike up to the Makapu'u Point Lighthouse is pretty easy. As you can see, it's paved the whole entire way, and a round trip for the length is 4.2 kilometers and only 143 meters of elevation, which really isn't too bad. Oh my God, I thought that was a fucking monk seal, that's a fucking rock.
We're all the way from water.
This hike was definitely much easier than Koko Crater. And thank God it was much easier, because at this point, both my legs and Cammie's legs were dead, and we were sort of dead inside also. At this point, all we've really had today to eat was monsters, like Monster energy drinks, and what kind of peanuts? We had some peanuts. We had toffee, butter toffee peanuts, and that's all we've eaten today so far. When we first set out this morning, we didn't anticipate that we were going to be doing all these other activities. We honestly had in mind to just do Koko Crater, go back to the Airbnb and regroup and figure out what else we wanted to do for the day. And then we ended up changing our plans and deciding to continue the road trip and do more activities. So that's what you see us doing. It's killing me. Am I sweaty? No, I won't be. I'm not sweaty. I don't sweat. Hi. Oh my goodness. You know, X game mode. Oh my God, gross. Ooh. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Oh, Cameron, gross is coming for me.
He's chasing you.
Yeah, what the hell?
He wants to go home.
Not with me. And I gotta say, I don't think we regret having, you know, extended this road trip and not going back to our Airbnb after Koko Crater, because we got to see so much on the east coast of Oahu today. From here, we were almost at the very top at the peak where the lighthouse is, and let me tell you, the views from this hike were so beautiful. Ooh, can be pretty. When I think of Hawaii, the views from this point is what I imagine. Cliffsides plunging into the ocean, greenery everywhere. It just really gives you those like Jurassic vibes and feelings. And those 2 little islands you see out in the ocean, I guess those are both bird sanctuaries. And some guy was talking to a lady and I was eavesdropping on their conversation. I guess there's some birds that visit or go to this island that don't go to the mainland, which is kind of cool if that's true. Once again, I heard this from some guy that I was eavesdropping on, so how true that is, not sure, but there you go, you got a little tidbit of what this guy was talking about. So we spent some time up here just taking in the views, enjoying it all, before we started the trek back down.
Skirt. Ooh.
Nice.
Get it.
After all of the activities, and especially doing 2 hikes today, we were absolutely wrecked. Not only did our bodies hurt, but we were absolutely starving and exhausted. So we hit the road and finally picked up some breakfast, scarfed that down, and made our way back to our Airbnb. That concludes all of the activities that we did on our 3rd day of our Oahu, Hawaii vacation. If you like this video at all, consider smashing that like button, subscribing, and leaving a comment below. And thank you so much for making it to the end of this video if you did. Okay, bye!